please come over to the house, sister? My mom can't wake up. Please come fast.
It all began on a night when the world felt too big for a child to face alone. A 6-year-old girl in a tiny apartment on the east side of the city, holding a phone she could barely grip with her trembling hands. Fast breathing, a soft thud as someone collapses. Moments earlier, her mother had whispered her name, Lily, and then the words stopped. Her body hit the kitchen tiles. Her arms went limp. Her chest rose, then faltered, then barely moved at all. Lily, sob-choked, trembling. Mommy, Mommy, please, wake up, please. No neighbors heard her cries. No family lived close enough to help, and the storm outside drowned out every sound inside those thin apartment walls. In her terror, Lily did what her mother taught her 2 years ago, long before their city updated its emergency lines. Long before the number became obsolete. She dialed the only number she remembered, a number that should have rung into dead air, a number that shouldn't reach anyone. But it did, across the city, inside a private office building perched above the skyline. A man looked down at his ringing phone, a number he never expected to see again, a number tied to a promise he made on the worst night of his life. And in that moment, the moment Lily's tiny voice cracked through the receiver with a single broken sentence. Lily, over phone, barely audible. Mister, my mommy won't wake up. Everything inside him stopped. This girl, this call, it pulled him backward in time, to the night he failed to save the only person he ever cared about. He didn't think. He didn't breathe. He didn't ask a single question. He just moved. A black SUV burst from an underground garage like a bullet. Its headlights sliced through the rain. Its engine snarled as it tore through traffic lights, cutting between cars with reckless precision. Inside, the man's expression was tight, his eyes locked on the blinking phone screen. His voice steady, controlled, guided Lily through every second of terror. His name was Elton Blackwell, a billionaire known for avoiding cameras, interviews, and anything resembling a normal life. A man the world called unreached, unfazed, untouchable. But tonight, all of that would change. He should not have been the one to answer that call. He should not have been the one racing through a storm for a child he had never met. And yet, within minutes, he would be standing at her door, on the edge of a miracle that began with a child's mistake. To understand how a wrong call turned into a miracle, we have to step back just a few hours to a fifth-floor apartment with thin walls, flickering hallway lights, and a small kitchen where a little girl started her morning the way she always did, watching her mother fight exhaustion with a smile. This is Lily's world. 6 years old, bright, observant, old enough to notice when things weren't right, but young enough not to understand how serious they were. She lived here with her mother, Anna, a nurse who gave everything she had to strangers, and almost nothing to herself. Not because she didn't want to, because life simply didn't leave her much choice. Lily quietly, Mommy, you look tired. Anna, with a soft, worn smile, brushing hair from Lily's face. I'm okay, baby. Grown-ups just get tired sometimes. But that wasn't the truth. Anna's body had been sending warnings for weeks, dizzy spells, skipped meals, long shifts that bled into each other. Yet she kept going, because rent was due, because bills were stacking up, because Lily deserved a childhood untouched by worry. Stethoscope, lunch she probably wouldn't have time to eat, a stack of medical notes. Anna worked at St. Clair Hospital, a place constantly short-staffed, constantly overwhelmed, and always ready to call Anna in because she never said no. She couldn't afford to. Lily didn't understand medical debt. She didn't understand rent notices, but she understood her mother's face. She understood when her smile didn't quite reach her eyes. She understood the way Anna leaned on the counter when she thought Lily wasn't looking. Kettle whistle. Anna steadies herself with one hand as she reaches for it. That morning, the tremble in Anna's hand was stronger than usual. Her breath came slower, her skin paler, but she pushed through it the way she always did. A.N.A., forcing a light tone. Finish your breakfast, sweetheart. I'll be home early today. But she wouldn't be. Anna hadn't had an early day in months, but she said it anyway, because promises kept Lily calm. The two shared a small ritual, a hug at the doorway, a whispered "be safe," a smile that hid fear on Anna's part in Lily's. Lily, hugging tightly, "Come home soon, okay?" "I will, I promise," Anna said, but promises can't fight exhaustion. They can't refill empty energy reserves. They can't stop what was already building inside Anna's body. Hours passed. Lily went to school, Anna went to work, and somewhere during another relentless shift, Anna crossed the line between tired and dangerously depleted. When Anna walked through the door that evening, she didn't look like someone who'd completed a shift. She looked like someone who had nothing left to give. Lily noticed. "Children always do." She asked softly, "Mommy, are you okay?" Aine, attempting reassurance but swaying slightly. "I'm just really tired, honey. Let me make us something to eat." And she went to the kitchen. The same kitchen where Lily would soon be crying, phone slipping in her trembling hands, trying to wake the only person she had in the world. Everything was already in motion. The collapse, the wrong number, the man who would answer, the miracle no one saw coming. While Anna pushed through exhaustion, and Lily tried to understand a world far bigger than her small apartment, another life moved in complete contrast, a towering glass building overlooking the city. Inside, a vast office sits in near silence. This is the headquarters of Blackwell Technologies, a place built on innovation, precision, and relentless ambition. And at the center of it all, Elton Blackwell, sitting alone at a desk surrounded by screens displaying global data, security feeds, and real-time analytics. To most people, Adrian was an enigma, a billionaire whose face rarely appeared on magazine covers, who skipped award ceremonies, who avoided interviews altogether. The public admired his brilliance, but almost no one understood his isolation. Close up on Elton studying a medical alert report on one of his monitors. Behind the success, behind the empire, was a man carrying a wound so deep, he built his entire life around preventing it from ever happening again. Fade into a soft, distant memory, a playground, children running, sunlight, then sudden panic. A little girl lies on the ground, pale, frightened. Elton younger, desperate, yelling for help. Voices overlap with confusion. Someone shouts that the ambulance is delayed. Minutes stretch endlessly. There was no response. Her name was Mia, Elton's younger sister, the person he loved most in the world. She needed immediate help, but the response came too late. Back to present Elton, now hardened by years of silence, staring at a single object on his desk. A small black phone, old-fashioned, no apps, no screen glow, just a red indicator light, currently off. After losing Mia, Elton created something unusual, a private line, not for business, not for friends, a direct channel for emergencies, meant originally for a handful of people he vowed to protect. A line so rarely used, it had almost become a ghost in his office. In 5 years, it had rung only twice. Both times Elton responded personally. Both times he arrived before official responders. Not because he sought relevance, but because he refused to relive the helplessness that shaped him. Elton rubs his eyes, exhausted but alert. He looks down at a digital document, statistics on delayed emergency responses. This was the side of him no article ever wrote about. The side that quietly funded faster emergency drones, hospital tech upgrades, training programs no one credited him for. The side driven not by wealth, but by memory. Back to the present on Elton's device. The red indicator flickers. That was the moment everything changed. Not for Elton's company, not for his public image, but for one terrified child in a small fifth-floor apartment who had dialed a number she barely remembered. He hesitates, not out of doubt, but from the weight of knowing that calls to this line were never simple. He lifts the phone, and on the other end, he heard a child's trembling voice. Evenings in Anna's little apartment were always the same. Homework on the table, dinner on the stove, Anna doing everything she could to pretend she still had energy left. She moves between counter and stove, her pace slower than usual. Her shoulders sag slightly. She rubs her temples just once, thinking Lily doesn't see. But Lily sees everything, quiet from the table. "Mom," You okay? Anna forces another small smile. Not happy, just reassuring. I'm fine, honey. Just long day. She opens a cabinet. Her hands tremble, barely noticeable. She steadies them against the door. Her body had been warning her for days. Dizziness, muscle weakness, a constant low hum in her ears. But Anna had no room in her life for weakness, not when she was the only person Lily had. She takes one more step toward the stove, and the world tilts. Anna grabs the counter. The pot on the stove blurs. Her breath shudders uneven. Lily, sweetheart, Mommy just needs a second. Her legs fold beneath her. She drops to the floor, hitting it hard. For a moment, everything is still. Then, Lily's chair scrapes violently across the tile as she jumps up, screaming, Mommy, Mommy! She shakes her mother's shoulder. No response. Anna's eyes are slightly open, but there's nothing behind them. Lily's breathing turns fast, frightened. Her hands hover, unsure what to do. At 6 years old, Lily had never seen her mother fall, never seen her still, never seen her unreachable. Panic pushes tears down her cheeks as she backs away, then rushes toward the phone on the counter. Her fingers slip once, twice. She wipes her eyes and tries again. She dials the number her mother taught her 2 years earlier, a number Anna assumed still worked, a number no one had tested since. The call rings. Once, twice, 3 times. Then a click. A man's voice answers, calm, controlled, not who should be on the other end. Elton. Hello? Lily lets out a sob of pure terror. Please help! My mommy! My mommy won't wake up! Her words tumble out, barely understandable. Silence floods the line. Not from confusion, but from the impact. For most people, that moment would have been a mistake, a wrong number, an unfortunate coincidence. But for Elton Blackwell, it was something else entirely. The sound of a child begging for help. It struck him like a force. A memory he had spent years trying to bury surged forward. A memory of another child's voice, another emergency, one he couldn't save. Elton doesn't speak. He listens carefully. Her breathing, her panic, the faint echo of a pot boiling somewhere behind her. He hears the word mommy, and that is enough. His chair scrapes across the floor as he stands. Okay, stay with me. Tell me your name. Lily sniffles hard. Lily? Elton says, Lily, I'm going to help you. I promise. Is your mommy breathing? Lily looks down at Anna's chest. It rises slightly, then falls, slow and uneven. Lily. Yes, but not right. Her voice wobbles. Elton, good. Stay close to her. Don't leave her side. I'm coming. Lily barely on a whispering tone. You're coming? She said. Elton didn't think, didn't calculate, didn't ask follow-up questions. He simply acted. He shoves open his office door, already signaling to his driver, his security, his private medical partner Elton, into intercom, prep the SUV. Now, trace this number and send it to my team. The building erupts around him with movement. But on the other end of the phone, Lily is still kneeling beside her mother, still crying, still scared, still clutching the only lifeline she has, a stranger's voice. Elton, Lily, don't hang up, okay? Stay with me. I'm going to get to you as fast as I can. In that moment, 2 lives, one collapsing, one rushing forward, locked into a course both couldn't have predicted. The wrong number had reached the one man who never ignored a call for help. And for the first time in years, Elton Blackwell ran. In that moment, the man known for his cold calculations and near-machine logic vanished, and something else took over, something buried for years under work, money, and silence. He presses the phone tighter to his ear as he starts for the elevator. Elton, I'm right here, Lily. I'm not leaving. Listen to me. Tell me your address. Slowly. Lily stutters out numbers, street names, an apartment building. Her words tremble so much he has to lean against the wall to hear them clearly. Every sound she made pulled him back to another time, another child, another desperate call for help that no one answered quickly enough. He can still hear his sister's voice when the nightmares return. And now, this new voice, this frightened 6-year-old, sounds just close enough to reopen every wound. But instead of freezing, he moves with purpose. The elevator opens. Elton strides down the hallway like a man with a deadline that can't be missed. His security chief, Marcus, spots him and instantly senses something is wrong. Marcus, sir? What happened? Elton, focused. Get the SUV out front. Full escort. I want the medical team on standby. Call Dr. Myers. I want him prepped before we reach the building. Marcus doesn't ask questions. He spins around and bolts toward the garage. This wasn't a planned rescue. This wasn't philanthropy. This was instinct. A raw, urgent drive to stop history from repeating itself. His staff, who normally move like a synchronized machine, scramble to keep up. Assistants grab tablets. Security radios light up. Someone tries to hand Elton a jacket. He ignores it and pushes out. He bursts into the underground garage. The lights flicker overhead, reflecting off rows of luxury vehicles, but he heads straight toward the black SUV already rolling forward. Marcus opens the rear door. Marcus. Sir, we have the route. Traffic is heavy. I can call for... Elton interrupts. Just drive. He climbs in without waiting for the door to close. The moment the door shuts, the SUV surges forward. Elton keeps the phone pressed to his ear the entire time. Outside, the storm intensifies, turning the roads slick and unpredictable. But none of it slows him down. Elton, gentle but urgent. Lily, tell me what your mom is doing right now. Is she breathing? Lily, sniffling. She won't wake up. I shook her. I told her I'm scared. Her voice cracks. Elton swallows hard, steadying his own tone. You're doing everything right, okay? You're being very brave. Keep talking to me. I'm on my way. The SUV weaves through late evening traffic, the driver pushing every limit Elton allows, and Elton allows far more tonight than he usually would. With every turn, every acceleration, the weight on his chest grows heavier. Not from fear, but from the memory of the moment he once couldn't change. Now he had a second chance. A chance he never expected. A chance he would not let slip away. Outside, the storm rages. Inside, a billionaire races against time, guided only by the trembling voice of a child who's in desperate need of help. Rain taps against the windshield as the vehicle surges forward. Street lights flicker past in streaks. Elton holds the phone to his ear, leaning forward as if proximity could somehow get him to Lily faster. Elton, steady, controlled. Lily, I need you to stay with me, all right? Put your hand on your mom's chest. Do you feel it moving? You hear Lily sniffle, then silence as she follows the instructions. Lily, low, shaky. I think it moved, but I don't know. I'm scared. Elton. I know you're scared, but you're helping your mom more than anyone else could right now. I'm on my way. Don't leave her. Elton had overseen international deals worth billions. He had faced boardrooms filled with people waiting for him to make a mistake. He had spoken in front of governments and investors. But nothing had ever made his voice tremble the way it did when he heard a child try not to cry. The SUV darts into a narrow street, tires slicing through puddles. Inside a fully equipped van, two medics snap open resuscitation kits. For years, Elton funded a private medical response team, not for prestige, but because he never wanted another family to wait helplessly the way he once did. They had never been deployed for something like this. But tonight, everything changed. A medic taps the driver's shoulder. Medic. We're 6 minutes out. Keep us behind Blackwell's vehicle. Elton presses the phone closer. Elton. Lily, can you talk to me? Tell me something about your mom. What's her name? Lily stutters and said, Anna. She works all the time. She always says she's fine, but she starts crying harder. Elton, with calm voice. Hey, don't worry about being strong. Just keep talking to me. I hear you. The GPS on the dashboard glowed with a red dot marking Lily's location. Every block they passed felt like a race against an unseen clock. And though Elton had access to resources most people could never imagine, he felt powerless. The kind of powerless he hadn't felt in years. A soft rustling, the faint sound of Lily's breathing, then a small gasp. Lily. Mommy made a sound. I think she's trying to wake up. Elton, calm, direct. That's good. Stay right there. Keep holding her hand. I'm almost there. The vehicle speeds past cars, swerving through gaps that should have been impossible. Drivers honked. Pedestrians turned their heads. Some caught only a glimpse of a dark vehicle cutting through the night like it belonged to another world. A world where hesitation didn't exist. The front door can be heard rattling in the background of Lily's line. Lily, someone's knocking, but I'm not supposed to open the door for strangers. Elton's voice becomes firmer. Lily, don't open it yet. Look through the peephole. Can you tell me what you see? A moment of anxious silence. Lily, it's a man in a black coat and two people in uniforms behind him. That's my team. I'm right behind them, Elton said. And in that moment, as the rain thickened, as Elton's SUV turned onto the narrow street where Lily lived, as his medical crew reached her door, one truth settled over him. He was seconds away from facing the past he never outran. Seconds away from rewriting a story he once believed was permanent. Seconds away from changing Lily's life, and from changing his own. The building had no elevators, just 5 flights of stairs, narrow, dim, and worn down by years of families who came and went. But Adrian took them 2 at a time. His security team followed closely behind, each carrying medical gear taken straight from the SUV. On the 4th floor, the hallway light flickered. A small silhouette stood at the end, bare feet, shaking shoulders, a phone still clutched in her hand. She didn't move when she saw the strangers rushing toward her. She held her ground, trembling, staring at them with fear and hope woven together. Elton slowed his steps, raising an open hand. Not as a billionaire, not as a man of power, but as someone trying to approach a terrified child without startling her. Elton, gentle, careful. Lilian, it's me, the man on the phone. I'm here now. You did the right thing. She blinked up at him, uncertain, then stepped aside. No bodyguards, no assistants, no cameras. Just a man kneeling in front of a child who had run out of options. Elton lowered himself fully, one knee on the old apartment floor, bringing his eyes level with hers. You're not alone. We're here to help your mom. Can we come in? Lily nodded once, quick and fragile. She led him through the doorway, into the kitchen. Anna lay exactly where she fell, on the faded tiles, arms stretched toward the sink, her chest rising in slow, uneven breaths. The medics moved with swift precision. Medic 1, pulse weak but present. Medic 2, blood pressure dropping, severe dehydration visible. The room transformed in seconds, equipment unpacked, vitals checked, oxygen mask secured, the lifeless quiet of the apartment replaced by structured urgency. Lily stood frozen by the doorway, clutching the hem of her shirt. Elton noticed her fear and stepped closer, slowly, respectfully, so she wouldn't feel overwhelmed. They're helping her. She's in good hands. Lily looked up at him, eyes wide. Lily, barely audible. Is she going to die? Elton shook his head firmly, not dismissively, but with conviction. Gently, he places his hand on her shoulder and said, not today. And for the first time in years, those words were not just a promise to a stranger, but a vow to the memory of the girl he once lost. Out of habit, Elton stepped aside to give the medics room, but not far enough for Lily to lose sight of him. She hovered near him, almost hiding behind his coat, as though he had become her anchor in a storm she didn't understand. One medic signaled. Medic 1. She needs to be transported immediately. Elton didn't hesitate. He turned to Lily. We're taking your mom to a hospital where she'll get everything she needs. You can ride with me. I'll stay with you the whole time. Lily swallowed, gripping his sleeve with one hand. Lily, you won't leave. Elton met her eyes. No, not tonight. For a man who built empires, who controlled companies with a single decision, this promise, spoken in a dim kitchen in a struggling apartment, carried more weight than any contract he'd ever signed. The medics lifted Anna carefully onto a stretcher. Rain echoed through the open door. The black SUV waited below, engine running, headlights cutting through the night like beacons. As they moved down the stairs, Lily held Elton's hand. Small fingers wrapped around someone she had known for less than 15 minutes, yet trusted more than anyone else in that moment. And Elton, For the first time in years, it felt the unmistakable pull of responsibility he once failed to fulfill, the kind he never wanted to run from again. In his mind, he said, if I couldn't do it for Mia, then surely I will do it for Lily. While the medics stabilized Anna, Lily didn't look away from Elton. Not once. Children sense things adults often ignore, and Lily sensed something familiar in this man, a quiet sorrow he carried carefully, almost invisibly, something she couldn't name, but recognized. Lily sniffles, her voice small. Mister, why did you answer? It wasn't, it wasn't even the right number. Elton keeps his gaze on the medics for a long moment. He rarely speaks about the past. Not in interviews, not in boardrooms, not to the press that constantly speculated about the one thing he never clarified. He crouches beside her again, speaking gently. Elton, when I was your age, someone I loved needed help. I did what you did. I reached for a phone. I hoped someone would hear me. A pause, long enough that Lily's fingers tighten around his. Elton continued. But the help I needed came too late, much too late. He doesn't say her name. He never says her name. But the memory of his sister, the girl with the bright laugh, the girl who never made it past 8 years old, lives in every syllable. Lily's eyes widen, her fear momentarily replaced by empathy. Did you get scared too? Elton nods once, slow. More than I can explain. But you know what I learned? He meets her eyes. When something scares you, and you still ask for help, that makes you very strong. Lily looks down at her hands. She hadn't felt strong. She had felt helpless, lost, alone in that kitchen. But hearing him say it, a man who looked like nothing ever frightened him, made something inside her settle. In that moment, the billionaire and the little girl stopped being strangers. Grief and fear, two forces that usually tear lives apart, bridged the space between them. A medic steps over. Her pulse is stabilizing. She's responding to fluids. Lily exhales shakily. Her whole body trembles from relief. She turns to Elton again, whispering, So, you came because you didn't want what happened to your sister to happen to us? Elton looks at her with a kind of honesty he rarely shows anyone. I came because no child should stand over someone they love and feel alone. Not ever again. Those words were the closest he had ever come to admitting the truth, not in interviews, not in therapist rooms he stopped visiting years ago, not even to himself, but to Lily, a terrified little girl who reminded him of everything he'd lost. He could finally speak it aloud. Thank you, Lily said. Elton shakes his head softly. You were brave enough to call. I just answered. The medics prepared Anna for transport. Lily stayed beside Elton, never letting go of his hand. In her eyes, he wasn't a billionaire, or a CEO, or a man shadowed by ghosts. He was simply the person who showed up when she needed someone most. And in that quiet, fragile moment, for the first time in years, Elton felt something inside him shift. The past didn't feel as heavy. The silence didn't feel as suffocating. Because this time, the call was answered, a life saved and hope not lost. Inside the hospital, dim lights, the steady rhythm of a heart monitor fills the room. Anna stirs. Her eyelids flutter, heavy and disoriented. The world around her is a blur. Pale walls, soft beeping, the faint smell of antiseptic. She turns her head. Lily is curled beside her on the hospital bed, small fingers clutching her mother's sleeve as if afraid to let go, even in sleep. Across the room, Elton stands near the door, still and quiet, as if guarding the space. He doesn't move when Anna wakes. He simply watches, making sure she isn't overwhelmed. A&A, hoarse, weak. You're the man my daughter called? Elton nods once. Not dramatic, just honest. He steps forward slow and respectful, not wanting to startle her. She reached my private line. I got here as fast as I could. Anna blinks, trying to piece the fragments together. Her mind is foggy. She touches her forehead, breathing slowly. Anna had spent years pushing her body beyond its limits. Too many double shifts, Too many skipped meals. Too little rest. Her collapse was not sudden. It was the result of exhaustion that had gone unnoticed for far too long. Elton watches her closely, his expression controlled but not distant. He gives her time. Finally, Anna looks at Lily, the small rise and fall of her daughter's chest, bringing an immediate wash of relief. Her voice trembles. I must have scared her so much. Elton, she stayed incredibly calm. She didn't leave your side. Anna covers her mouth, overwhelmed. Tears gather slowly, but she wipes them away before they fall, a habit formed by years of needing to stay strong. A&A, quiet. I don't know how to thank you. I don't know how to repay. Elton raises a hand gently. You don't owe me anything. Your daughter did exactly what she was supposed to do. She asked for help. I just happened to be the one who answered. Anna looks at him carefully now, studying him. The weary lines around his eyes, the guarded calm, the weight he carries but never voices. You came all this way for us? A complete mistake. A wrong number. Why? Elton glances at the sleeping Lily. His voice lowers. Because once, when I needed help, no one came in time. I promised myself that if I ever had the chance to prevent that from happening to someone else, I would. Anna absorbs the words. They land heavily. She reaches out, her hand trembling. Adrian steps closer so she can take his hand if she wants. But he doesn't force it. She squeezes his fingers weakly, grateful. Anna didn't see a billionaire. She didn't see the headlines or the reputation. She saw a man shaped by loss, choosing to use his second chance to give someone else theirs. A nurse enters quietly to check Anna's vitals. Adrian steps aside, out of the way but still present. Nurse, softly. You're going to be okay, Anna. Severe dehydration, fatigue, extreme stress, but you're stable now. Anna exhales slowly, the truth settling in. Lily shifts in her sleep and murmurs something unintelligible before nestling closer against her mother. Anna strokes Lily's hair, whispering, She saved my life. Elton nods again, not in agreement, but in recognition. Yes, she did. A brief silence. Not awkward, meaningful. In that small hospital room, 3 lives that had no reason to intersect became bound by a single call that was never meant to happen. Anna closes her eyes again, exhausted but calm for the first time in weeks. Elton quietly adjusts the blanket over Lily's shoulders before stepping back toward the door, preparing to give them space. But he doesn't leave. Not yet. He simply waits, standing guard over a child who refused to give up, and a mother who finally had someone watching over her for a change. The next day during the late afternoon, soft hospital beeps echo. A muted sunlight spills pale orange across the white walls. Anna sits upright now, far stronger than when she arrived, though still fragile. Lily sits beside her, quietly coloring with the intense focus only a child recovering from fear can have. Soft footsteps approaching. Elton enters. No entourage, no noise. Just him, calm, observant, respectful. Lily looks up first. Lillian, you came back. Elton responds, Of course I did. She smiles and goes back to coloring, comforted by his presence. Anna shifts slightly, pushing herself up. You didn't need to come. I'm already grateful for everything you did. But Elton wasn't there to accept gratitude. He was there because something about Anna's story lingered with him. The exhaustion in her eyes, the strain in her voice, the weight she carried alone for far too long. Elton steps closer, but keeps a respectful distance, aware of how overwhelmed she must feel. Anna, I wanted to talk to you after reviewing your chart. Anna tenses, confused. My chart? Elton, your medical records show a pattern. Long shifts, little sleep, physical strain. Your body didn't collapse out of nowhere. It's been warning you for months. Anna looks away, ashamed. Anna, I didn't have a choice. Bills don't wait. Life doesn't wait. It wasn't a dramatic confession, just the tired truth of a woman who had run out of hours, energy, and options. Eltab sits in the chair beside her bed, firm yet gentle in his approach. Elton, I run a healthcare foundation, one that funds hospitals, clinics, community centers. We're expanding a major program for nurse coordinators. We need experienced staff. People who understand what real families face. Anna studies his expression, trying to understand if this is sympathy or something else. Elton continues. It comes with better pay, stable hours, full benefits. He looks toward Lily. And support for your daughter, childcare assistance, tutoring, everything she needs. Anna feels her throat get dry, not from weakness, but from disbelief. Anna, why me? You don't even know me. Elton, I know enough. You've spent your life helping others. You carry more responsibility than one person should. What happened to you wasn't failure. It was a system that left you behind. He pauses, letting the words settle. You deserve better, and I want you on my team. Anna's eyes fill, not with dramatic tears, but with the quiet overwhelm of someone who finally hears the words she has hoped for all her life. A&A, voice low. I don't want charity. Elton nods instantly. This isn't charity. This is recognizing someone with real skill and real heart, someone who should never have to run herself into the ground just to survive. He leans back slightly. If you accept, you start once you're fully recovered. No rush, no pressure. Anna looks over at Lily. Lily is drawing a simple picture. Her, her mother, and a tall man standing beside them, all holding hands. Anna's face softens. I don't know what to say. Elton, say yes only if you want a life where you can be free and happy. Silence fills the room, not heavy, but hopeful. Lily looks up again, sensing the shift. Mommy, are we going to be okay? Anna reaches out and pulls her daughter close. A&A, teary smile. Yes, baby, I think we finally are. Elton watches them quietly, not as a savior, not as a billionaire, just as someone who understands what it means to lose and what it means to help someone before they reach the edge. The offer wasn't flashy, it wasn't dramatic. It was a lifeline, steady, sincere, and needed. A one that promises stability and assures insurance. And for the first time in months, Anna allowed herself to imagine a different future, a stable one, a safe one, a future she wouldn't have to survive, but one she could finally live freely. Inside the hospital room. Late afternoon the next day, light filters in through soft curtains. Anna sits upright for the first, staring abstractly at the curtain, color returning to her cheeks. Lily draws on a small notepad, glancing up every few seconds to check on her mother. The door opens. Elton steps in, quiet, respectful, almost hesitant. No entourage, no security details, no cameras, just him. Anna straightens up with a faint smile, still weak but stronger than before. You came back, she said, Elton. I wanted to make sure you both were okay. Lily hops off her chair and runs to him, stopping just short, looking up as if studying the face of someone she still can't quite understand. She wraps her arms around him. Are you an angel? A warm, restrained chuckle escapes Elton's throat, a kind that suggests he hasn't heard something that pure in a long time. No, I'm just someone who answered the wrong call at the right time. He said. He kneels so he's at her level. She touches his sleeve like she wants to be sure he's real. Anna studies both of them in amazement, wondering how fond they have quickly grown of each other. Anna, you saved my life. You saved her from losing me. How do people even thank someone for that? Elton stands, hands lightly in his pockets. You don't owe me thanks. You don't owe me anything. Just take the new job. Take the time to heal. Spend more mornings with your daughter instead of rushing out the door before sunrise. Anna's eyes fill again. This time, not from fear or exhaustion, but from relief. She nods, slow, full of acceptance. I will. Silence settles, a peaceful, restorative silence. He turns toward the door, pausing only once more. She's strong because of you. Remember that. He exits. Lily runs to the window as the sound of distant engines hums below. She watches the black SUV pull away from the hospital entrance, the reflective surface catching the fading sunlight. And just like that, a single misdialed number rewrote the course of 3 separate lives: a struggling mother, a frightened child, and a man who had spent years trying to silence the echoes of a tragedy he could never undo. In a world where wealth often builds walls, this billionaire chose to build a bridge, not out of obligation, not out of guilt, but because somewhere deep inside, a child's voice reminded him of a promise he made long ago, a promise to never ignore a call for help, no matter who it came from. The SUV turns the corner and disappears from view. Miracles don't always descend with light or thunder. Sometimes they arrive quietly, in the form of a stranger who answers a call that was never meant for him, yet changes everything because he chose to show up.